Hey YouTube, coming at you live from inside the disaster that I call a shop. It's it's been a long winter to get to cleaning. So I wanted to show you something that I built. Built this based off of watching videos that Rock Hill Farms put out there. Brock at Rock Hill Farms, he's a great source for inspiration or for reference on how to do stuff. He built one of these. Outdoors with the Morgans built them. There's tons of these on YouTube on all the different big channels. Anyway, I thought I would build my version of it. The difference between my version and theirs, several things. Number one, theirs are always 3 boards high. Maybe they might add a 2x6 or something. My carryall is actually 4 2x12s plus the edge here tall. So we're at almost 48, so we're at like 46 3/4 tall on the outside. However, the interior is only 41.5 tall, and we'll get to why that is once we get there. So what I wanted to show here is I've added 2 vertical 2x4s in between these boards and the carryall. The reason why that is, when you go to put your tractor on here, even a quick hitch on the arms, not a lot of space on the countyline version or Tractor Supply version of a carryall. It's a really tight squeeze there, and I just didn't want to deal with that, so I just spaced this with 2x4s. And they also add strength to the box. So looking around here, this is a 4 square blank cover for an electrical box. I'm an electrician by trade, so I've got all kinds of electrical parts and stuff in this. But anyway, this is a piece of all thread that actually runs all the way through this. It's a 3-foot stick of all thread. So that runs through there. Now, if we're looking at the carryall, a couple of things worth noting. I've technically got 4 saws on here, 2 on the back, the M18 and the M12. What happens is I take out my 500i. This is a 28-inch bar, and I can take this, set it here, tighten my vise, spin this wherever it needs to go, lock it, and now I can file this at eye level. That's a really big deal for me. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been filing saws a lot longer than I have, and you know, you're used to doing it down here on a tailgate next to you or at a bench or whatever. If I do this at a bench, it's just something with me, but I have to be at eye level, so I have to sit in a chair and kind of look at it. Otherwise, it ends up backwards. So, but bringing this up here to eye level for me personally helps a lot. Now, going through here, I've got the 500i there. This is my 291. And then I've got this carry box here. I've got my Mingo marker, the little length marking stick. These work really well. This is a 16-inch one. You can get these any 16, 18, or 20. But it sticks on there. I mean, it's a strong magnet, and you just use that as far as marking. I will typically stick this on the M18 and just go down a log and, you know, just put a little score on it and then go through with the bigger saws to cut it up. So, but I've got more paint here for the Mingo marker, 2 things of bar oil, a couple things of fuel, and then I've got my little M12 here. These are actually pretty impressive little saws to use. I would say don't knock it till you try it. And the ammo can here, in this, I've got some rags, and this is where I keep my files, and, you know, bar wrenches and carburetor, screwdriver, these guys. These are something, I don't see any of these on the YouTube channels. Like, I don't see people using these, and it's like, it's one of those things that you never knew you needed until you actually tried it. But I would highly, highly encourage you to try these. Anti-vibration gloves And they totally change the experience of running a saw as far as how your hands feel after you've been doing it for 2 or 3 hours. These are just amazing though. These are the Steel brand ones. You can get these from Amazon. You can get generics of them. The only thing with the generic ones is you kind of have to try them. You don't exactly know what you're getting. Whereas the Steel ones, at least you know exactly what you're getting. But those are like $40. The generics are half, so they're right around 20. So with this though, if we notice here, I heat treated the entire thing. The way I did that was I used a weed burner on a propane torch, I used a propane weed burner and put that on a 20-pound propane plant and heat treated the whole thing. I could have painted it, I could have stained it. I just figured, why not? It was quick, it was easy, and it'll work. So coming around to the back side here, this would be the passenger side. Not that there's passenger on tractor, but this would be the passenger side. This is a 5/8 cable choker. I just had one that was a lot bigger. And a D-ring. So I just got a loop there and attached that, and so that'll ride right there. No problems at all. So I wanted to show this in case somebody has one of these M18 saws and they put it on here. If you notice how bad this is kind of flopping around, what I did was I put just 2 of these little eye screws in there, push that on there. It's pretty solid. All right, and so this guy here is my log putty here. This, basically I've got a stick of 2-inch PVC here. This is schedule 80, not that it matters, but 2-inch schedule 80 PVC and then just 2 straps on it. So I didn't want to have this hanging off of the outside. Reason being is these edges on this, I'm very apt to snag trees going by, or if I'm walking by this, snag my arm or my shoulder on that. So I just put that on the inside there. The other thing is having this sleeved in PVC, I could have this stacked up to here full of wood, and this would still slide in and out pretty easy. So over here on this side, this is basically the same thing. I've just got them all in here. So what happens is with this is a 2.5-inch piece of schedule 40 PVC. The reason why I wanted 2.5-inch, and again, it's not worth going out and buying a $60 stick of PVC for, but as an electrician, I have this stuff everywhere. The reason why I wanted this is with 2-inch, when you drop this in, your 2-inch hits, like right here, and I just didn't want to destroy that. So drop that in there. I use the bell end up, so that gives you even a little bit more. It fits in there really nicely. So with this as a 2x6, what I did was I notched the ends of it here. That sets on there. Basically, that prevents the sides from bowing out once this has a lot of weight inside of it. Naturally, that would happen once you get stuff stacked up high in here and pushing on the edges, it would want to open up. So I put this in here to prevent that. This is just a 2x4 that I literally cut in half on the chop saw, put half here and half on the other side. Now, if we look down here at the base of this, this is my tailgate. Grab the handles and it's out. So if I need more space, or if I have something that's going to overhang, or if I'm loading something really heavy, I don't know. Basically, I can pull this out. Now, if you notice, I've got an L bracket right there on that 2x4. Same thing on the other side here. Just helps to add with stability. Also, worth noting, this is 34 inches from this front side to the edge of this, but with the tailgate in here, it's about 30.5 from the front back. Now, we look at this guy here. This is the other side of that all thread that comes through. That's a 3-foot piece of all thread, and it's just barely sticking out on both sides. This is actually a threaded ring. So I threaded this on, it's 1/2 inch all thread. So this is threaded on, and then I put the nut on top of it and just cinched it down there, just so I knew it wouldn't come off. What this is used for is, this is actually for safety chain for my wood splitter that I would tow behind here. So underneath right here, you can see this is a 2-inch receiver. The edge is about, I don't know, 3-4 inches from here. So I can easily put a hitch in there and a ball, and the ball would sit about here and then hook in there. So one of the things that makes this very unique is these. These are attached on the other side where the pins are on the vertical part of the carryall. Then they go from there, pass down through the floor, and they're connected about here underneath. And what that does is that adds, basically there's an extra triangle there to support that weight. As opposed to the carryalls, which are only supported right here, and then you've got, I think it's 32 inches of space coming out. What I did was added this for additional support. I don't know technically what that will add to the carrying capacity, but I'm certain that will definitely help it out. I don't know if it'll add 20% or 50% or double it or what, I have no idea. But I know it can't hurt, and it does nothing but helps. The other thing that makes this very different than the other carryall videos that I've seen, most people take the 2x12s and set them on here and just stack them 3 deep and call that good. The concern that I had though was adding weight into this, having this be 7 feet wide and overhanging by so much on the sides here from where it's supported. The concern that I had was that the 2x12s, as opposed to being rigid, would start to kind of bow on the outsides. So what I did there was took 2x4s, stood them up on end, and just stacked them in there. So I have no doubt in my mind that this will carry that weight with ease. All right, so, okay. So for the inevitable question that everyone has, how much does that thing weigh? Here's kind of the, I guess, write-up that I made of it. For the wood, basically, number of 1 foot used. That was the only way that I could really figure this out because I'm not using 8-foot boards. So what happens is, basically, I figured up how many total feet of the wood that I used, and then I have the sizes, the weight per foot, the total weight, and then the wood total here. So the total amount of wood going into this is 520 pounds. Then we add the vise, the 4 saws, the straps, the ammo can, the contents, the log pivot, the maul, handles, all thread straps, PVC, choker, carryall, miscellaneous hardware, and these numbers are all very, very conservative. If anything, they're too much. So all in total weight of this is 785.58 pounds. Now, with a carryall having a 1,000-pound capacity, we can't factor that in and include that as far as the total carrying weight. So getting rid of that, adding capacity of the bar straps, I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me that in the comments. But at the end of the day, do not try this at home. The wood weight reference chart I got from roofonline.com. The tractor that I'm using this for is a TYM 574 HST, and I have 3,822 pounds of 3-point lift capacity. So I'm not worried about not being able to carry this. Worst case is I'll be doing wheelies. All right, so if you got something from this, if you enjoyed it, if you feel inspired to make something kind of sort of like this or exactly like this, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to us. Through the list, if you just search for carryalls on YouTube, you'll find lots and lots of variations, and everybody kind of does their own thing a little bit. I kind of went a lot in my own direction, but everybody's going to be a little bit different as far as what they need specifically.